Many of you may have already seen this video on the page, but I thought we'd go through it as the cosmological argument is always a favorite go-to for the theists, especially William Lane Craig. He expounded on it in the 70s, and that's known as the Kalam cosmological argument. But let's see what he has to say here.
For me, my favorite argument for the existence of God that I find the most compelling is a version of the cosmological argument, which goes like this. Whatever begins to exist has a cause. Something can't just come into being from nothing.
Except your God. Except Yahweh. And you take it a step further and claim that God just always was. That's compelling?
Secondly, the universe began to exist. I think we have both good philosophical arguments and scientific evidence for the finitude of the past, from which it follows, third, therefore the universe has a cause. And when you do a conceptual analysis,
Conceptual analysis. What do you got?
what it is to be a cause of the universe, you arrive at a being which is an uncaused, beginningless, timeless, spaceless, enormously powerful, personal creator of the universe.
Okay, so when you complete this task of this conceptual analysis, wherever it may be, maybe it's your office, the kitchen, maybe the bathroom. Once this task is complete of this conceptual analysis, you suddenly arrive at a being at the beginning of the universe, one that is enormously powerful and a personal creator. How in the world William Lane Craig makes this gigantic leap into this stratosphere of the unknown and makes this link is way beyond me, because with that line of thinking, I can place anything at the beginning of the universe. I could say it's He-Man, or it's Papa Smurf.
Universe. If God does not exist, then objective moral values and duties do not exist.
Had to go there.
That is to say, in the absence of God, everything becomes socioculturally relative. Two, but objective moral values and duties do exist. There are some moral absolutes, some objective values and duties. Three, therefore God exists. Now, this is an argument which is impossible, I think, to ignore, because every day you get up, you answer by how you treat other people, whether you regard them as having intrinsic moral value or whether they are mere means to be used for your ends. And so this argument, I find, tends to be the most convincing for people.
Oh, I'm sure of that. I'm sure you're convincing a lot of people with this argument. But regardless of your position, of anybody's position on moral realism, moral anti-realism, moral objectivity, moral subjectivity, that still does not prove the existence of a God, regardless if there are moral absolutes or not. And your constant inference that anybody who doesn't like your God or believe in your God, such as atheists and even agnostics, your constant inference that they live a meaningless and valueless life, that they're these spineless and immoral people, is catastrophically and unequivocally arrogant and absurd. Stop.